Most people rise each morning assuming that reality is solid and unchanging, a rigid structure ruled by effort, chance, and routine. They go through life believing outcomes come only through hard work or by luck passed down. What few understand is that they are already immersed in an unseen quantum field, a limitless ocean of potential where every possibility exists, waiting for a clear enough signal to crystallize into form. Reality, in its truest sense, is not something that simply happens to you. It is something that unfolds from within you. Yet almost no one recognizes this creative ability, and even fewer know how to use it. The notion that we live inside a quantum field, a boundless sea of energetic potential, can feel abstract at first, almost too mystical to connect with daily life. But this is not mere philosophy. It is physics. This invisible field is not separate from you. It is you. Your awareness moves through it endlessly, shaping, bending, and influencing it. Every thought, every feeling, every breath, and every belief sends out a signal into this field. And just like a tuning fork vibrating through still air, the field responds with accuracy. The outside world is not a detached structure. It is a reflection, an echo of your internal state. Most people, without realizing, send out distorted signals into this responsive field. They attempt to override their present reality with sheer mental force, repeating affirmations they don't truly believe, imagining outcomes that contradict their deeper emotions, or forcing positivity while their body still holds tension. This is not alignment, it is resistance. The field does not respond to what you say. It responds to the entirety of who you are in the present moment. Words are surface-level vibrations. But your body, your breath, and your subconscious all communicate in a deeper language. And it is that deeper language the quantum field listens to most closely. Awakening to the field begins with a shift in perception. It is not about chasing mystical encounters or decoding complicated theories. It is about noticing the constant interplay between your inner world and what unfolds outside you. Observe how your mood colors the course of your day. Notice how certain thoughts seem to attract specific experiences. Recognize how inner clarity so often leads to clarity in the external. These are not accidents. They are feedback loops. The field is always listening, always reflecting. The more harmonious your signal, the sharper the reflection you receive. Instead of struggling to control external situations, learn to recognize your own frequency. Ask yourself, what am I truly broadcasting right now? Pause. Don't just notice the words in your mind, but the energy in your chest, the tightness in your spine, the rhythm of your breath. Are you relaxed or resisting, present or worrying? Most people skip this step and rush toward action. But manifestation does not begin with doing. It begins with being. When you tune your internal state first, everything you do afterward becomes naturally aligned and effective. Raising your vibration, then, is not about striving for something mystical. It is a conscious return to stillness, awareness, and presence. You don't need to perform. You don't need to be perfect. You simply begin by noticing. In the quantum field, observation itself is power. And when you observe yourself with honesty, curiosity, and gentleness, you reclaim the ability to reshape reality from the inside out. Once awareness of the field takes root, a deeper truth is revealed. Your reality is not formed independently. It is shaped by your observation of it. The quantum field exists as infinite potential. But that potential collapses into experience only when it is observed. This is where ancient wisdom and modern science meet. The quantum world waits to take form until you look, feel, expect, and believe. Reality is not fixed, it is fluid, shaped by the one who observes, shaped by you. But the observer is not only your conscious attention. It extends much deeper. The subconscious mind, always running beneath awareness, is the stronger observer. It is the part of you that never sleeps, holding your deepest beliefs, traumas, and expectations. While your conscious mind may affirm abundance, your subconscious might still be rehearsing scarcity. While your words declare trust, your body may still brace for loss. The field listens to the whole signal, and the subconscious provides the loudest tone. This is why many people feel blocked despite their efforts. They speak one truth but embody another. Grasping the observer effect requires more than curiosity, it requires self-honesty. What do you genuinely expect from life when no one is watching? What outcomes are you emotionally rehearsing? You may desire love, but do you secretly expect rejection? You may want freedom, but are you preparing for disappointment? Each subtle expectation is a small act of observation. And every one of those observations either collapses a reality aligned with your desire or reinforces the one you want to escape. The essence of quantum manifestation lies in this precision. It is not about wanting harder or thinking more. It is about becoming aware of which part of you is observing. Are you perceiving life through fear or through faith? Through expansion or contraction? When the inner observer shifts, the external experience shifts with it. This is why alignment is not just mental. It is emotional, physical, and energetic. The field does not mirror what you merely want. It mirrors what you consistently observe through your being. Even scientific research shows the body itself is an instrument of observation. The heart generates an electromagnetic field more powerful than the brain's. And this field interacts directly with the quantum field around you. When the heart and brain are in harmony, your observation becomes clear, undistorted, magnetic. Coherence is not mystical. It is measurable. It occurs when thought and emotion move in sync. When belief and feeling align, your signal sharpens. The wave collapses with speed and precision. And reality shifts in response. So if you wish to shape the wave consciously, you must become the observer your chosen timeline requires. Not just in your words, but in your state of being. Manifestation is not driven by logic alone. It is born from resonance. When your subconscious, your breath, your heart, and your expectations align, the field has no choice but to reflect that frequency. In this way, reality crystallizes not by force, but by clarity. You do not push life into form. You embody it into being. When your observation sharpens and your signal grows clearer, the next step is no longer just about looking, it is about becoming. Yes, observation collapses the wave. But embodiment is what sustains the new timeline. You are not meant to stand on the edge of intention, staring into a better life. You are meant to step fully into it. And to do that, you must align with the frequency of that life, not as an abstract thought, but as a state of being. This is the moment when manifestation stops being theory and starts becoming lived truth. Yet most people wait until the evidence shows up before they allow themselves to feel it. They wait to feel abundant until the money appears. They wait to feel loved until a partner arrives. They wait to feel healthy only after symptoms disappear. But the quantum field does not respond to waiting. It responds to embodiment. To draw your desired reality into form, you must first become its frequency. That means feeling the emotions of your future now, not later. When you think, act, and feel as though you already live in that timeline, the field recognizes it as truth and reflects it back. This is not about pretending. It is about tuning into an already existing channel. Imagine reality as an orchestra, each timeline playing its own melody. If you want to hear a particular song, you don't beg the band to play it, you simply tune your instrument to match its key. Your thoughts are like strings. Your emotions are rhythm. Your actions become the melody. When all three align, the music of your future self begins to flow through your life. And it starts with the smallest notes. A generous act becomes a signal of abundance. A moment of vulnerability becomes an opening to love. A period of rest becomes a declaration of self-worth. You don't need dramatic gestures to shift frequencies. A single conscious breath, a kind thought, a brave choice, each one is a brushstroke painting your new reality onto the canvas of the field. Every moment casts a vote for the timeline you are choosing to inhabit. Mystics of the past hinted at this same truth: you become what you behold. The ancient alchemists weren't chasing external gold, but inner transformation, turning lower states into higher ones through awareness and intention. The same principle governs quantum manifestation. The material doesn't change first, the self does. And when you shift who you are being, what you are having naturally follows. The quantum field is designed for this. To become the frequency is the ultimate act of surrender. It is choosing to live as though your desire is already real, without waiting for proof. It is stepping into the role before the stage has been built. And here lies the secret: when you stop striving to get and start practicing being, reality begins to rearrange. Timelines bend. Possibilities collapse into form. What once seemed far away becomes natural. You are no longer pulling something in, you are breathing life into what was always already possible. Stepping into your chosen frequency marks a powerful turning point. But holding that frequency demands something even harder: releasing control. After embodying the state of already having, the challenge becomes trusting the process long enough for the field to reflect it. Many people stumble here. They slip back into forcing outcomes, trying to rush results, manage details, or constantly check if their desire has arrived. But this grasping creates interference. Control is not alignment. It is resistance disguised as responsibility. Society teaches that worth comes from struggle, that effort equals value. Through this lens, surrender looks like weakness and trust feels like risk. But in the quantum field, the opposite is true. The more you try to push reality into shape, the more you signal disbelief that it is already yours. Force fragments your frequency. The result is delay, distortion, or even disconnection. Letting go, however, is not passive. It is active participation in allowing. Releasing control means bringing yourself back to presence. It is a deliberate choice to shift attention from the timeline you are escaping to the one you are choosing. In that space, effort becomes energy management. Instead of wasting willpower chasing outcomes, you invest in regulating your state, your breath, your nervous system, your thought patterns. These inner alignments speak to the field far louder than desperate action. Surrender does not mean doing nothing. It means doing the right things from the right state of being. It also means letting go of the timeline. The quantum field does not operate under linear time. What feels like delay may actually be necessary unfolding. Trusting the unseen choreography of your desire requires emotional maturity. You stop asking, when will it come, and instead ask, how deeply can I embody it now, This shift turns control into co-creation. You move from manipulating outcomes to mastering vibration. And in the quiet release of needing, the field finally begins to move. But as you release control, old patterns often rise. Stillness brings to the surface the familiar voices of doubt. Thoughts like, it's not working, I'm not enough, nothing ever changes, These loops are not random, they are the echoes of timelines lived for years. And if left unchecked, they will magnetize the same outcomes again. To manifest something new, the cycle must be broken. And that begins with disruption. Disruption does not mean destruction. It means conscious intervention, small, intentional shifts that interrupt the rhythm of the old and send a new signal. The subconscious prefers the familiar. It clings to predictable discomfort over uncertain change. So it builds patterns of thought, emotion, and reaction. You might wake with anxiety without knowing why. You might sabotage opportunities that reflect your worth, not because you don't want them, but because your nervous system hasn't adjusted to a new identity. The field responds not only to your vision but also to these ingrained habits of being. Breaking the cycle begins with awareness. When scarcity, fear, or doubt arise, pause. Do not react as you always have. Take one conscious breath, that alone is disruption. Non-reaction creates space. And in space lies choice. Choice is power. Ask, is this pattern aligned with the timeline I want, If the answer is no, redirect, not through force, but through intention. Each time you choose presence over reaction, the old pattern weakens. And as it weakens, the field reorganizes around the new signal. Reprogramming begins where awareness meets repetition. You do not need to rewrite every belief overnight. You only need to consistently behave in ways that reflect your chosen frequency. Want abundance? Practice generosity. Want confidence? Speak, even if your voice shakes. Want love? Offer the warmth you long for. These micro-choices communicate in the language the subconscious understands, lived experience. Beliefs do not shift through logic alone. They change when new behaviors prove the old ones outdated. In ancient times, transformation often involved symbolic acts, a fire walk, a ritual of release, a ceremonial rebirth. Modern life may not hold the same rituals, but the essence remains. Every time you act against your old limitations, you engage in sacred disruption. You quietly declare, I am no longer available for the old frequency. This declaration does not need to be loud. It is steady, embodied, and powerful, and the field listens. Disrupting the pattern is not about rejecting who you were. It is about making space for who you are becoming. The old self was not wrong, it was necessary. It learned, protected, and adapted. But now, it can rest. A new identity is forming, step by step, breath by breath, choice by choice. And as those choices accumulate, the signal changes. The quantum field, always responsive, begins to weave reality around the new rhythm. What once felt impossible becomes inevitable, not through force, but through transformation. When the old pattern breaks, a new identity emerges, not defined by past experience, but by present alignment. But transformation cannot survive as a momentary breakthrough. For manifestation to take root, the frequency must become a lifestyle. Living as the signal means turning coherence into a daily way of being. It is not something you visit on good days, it becomes your foundation. The future you want does not arrive by accident. It is maintained through rhythm. Rhythm is the devotion to your chosen frequency, practiced daily. Not just in peak moments, but in steady return, again and again, through mindful breath, emotional balance, clear intention, and aligned action. Just as a musician cannot tune once and expect perfection forever, you too must recalibrate continually. Coherence is not a destination, it is a returning. And each return deepens your resonance with the timeline you are choosing. This rhythm lives most naturally in the body. The body remembers what the mind forgets. A slumped posture can broadcast defeat before a single word is spoken. A clenched jaw can reveal fear louder than any affirmation. Living as the signal means embodying your frequency through your body, not passively, but as an active, intelligent expression. Ask yourself, is this how the version of me who already has it would move, eat, rest, speak, act, ? You don't fake it, you become it gradually, authentically, physically. Your relationships, too, become mirrors. Some dynamics will fall away, and not because you changed others, but because you changed what you resonate with. Coherence attracts coherence. When you hold your vibration steadily, others vibrating at that level begin to appear. You become a tuning fork for your environment. This is not chance, it is quantum law. The field organizes itself around the strongest, clearest signal. When you live as that signal, you not only draw in new timelines, you elevate the entire field around you. Living as the signal is not about perfection. Doubt will return. The old self will whisper. Fear will visit. But your task is not to never fall. It is to return, The strength lies not in being unshakable, but in recalibrating with grace. Power is not in avoiding the stumble, but in how you rise. One breath, one choice, one act of awareness brings you back to center. Over time, this becomes second nature. Not because life grows easier, but because your signal grows stronger. To live as the signal is to stop waiting for permission. You no longer ask the world to prove it's safe to trust, dream, or expand. Instead, you become the proof. Every moment becomes a message to the field, this is who I am now. And as always, the field mirrors you back. In that reflection, the timeline you once only imagined begins to take shape, not through effort, but through resonance. Quantum manifestation is not hidden behind complexity. It is profoundly simple, so simple the mind resists it. You do not manifest by wishing. You manifest by being. And once you know this, the path is no longer something to chase. It is something to live. Choose your signal. Collapse the wave. Step into the observer. And reality will mirror you back in ways effort never could.